items on the agenda. We'll give you 5 minutes, so you can remain 5 minutes for the second item.
Okay, the east side Adelante redevelopment area, for those of you who don't know, is designated area formed by CRA that offers incentives to private developers, private businesses who choose to come in and redevelop aging and blighted commercial corridors along Fort Ohio and Heights and Highway 32 community. The Adelante project area within our community is located, within Highway 32 is located on Valley Boulevard from Soto to the 77 freeway, and along Alhambra Road from Valley to the city of Alhambra bonding area. The project area committee, also known as PAC, is an elected body. Its purpose is to consult with and advise CRA on policy matters which affect residents within this project area. According to one of the board members on the PAC, its main purpose is to ensure that CRA does not undermine the rights of any affected residents within the Adelante project area. Unfortunately, since April of this year, the CRA has not been present to conduct their regularly scheduled meetings. The meetings have been continuously either postponed or canceled. These cancellations have led to many board members resigning from the board. There are currently no members, let alone members who live in LA 32, who are looking out for the best interest of our community right now. So what I want to do is that we asking this board is that we can prepare a letter insisting the CRA to have a meeting and to fill the vacancies that are right out present. And we, the land use, will do our best to get the word out to stakeholders who would like to vote for the board. And I have a motion. Motion that LA 32, they would council draft a letter to CRA insisting they allow the Adelante Eastside PAC to meet and immediately hold elections to fill vacancies.
Thank you, John. Second by Bell. Thank you. And now we do have a motion properly made before us, and it's been seconded. At this time, we're going to go to the community for public input. I do have a card here for item 12AI by Mike Coulter. Let me stop this. What we do is we give all public comment speakers 3 minutes to speak to us, so you're allowed 3 minutes, sir.
I'll try to do it in 1 or 2.
Fair enough.
First of all, thanks for the pizza here. I'm a member of the project area committee. The short of it is that the last legal meeting we had was in January of this year. We voted for a motion that was almost identical to the motion you folks were kind enough to vote for also, where we supported the governor in his position to try to eliminate CRAs in the state and send that money back to local communities, and particularly schools. And what happened is the CRA basically retaliated against us. We haven't had a single legal meeting since. And it's wonderful that you guys are considering this letter. We sure appreciate it. It's important that we have meetings because the community has input then. But even more importantly is that El Sereno only had one vote on our board, Tom Haskins, and he quit more than 3 months ago. And I would like to, I did this in your committee, I would like to encourage more than one of you folks to come in and run for, I think there's 4 or 5 vacancies right now, and I think there's going to be 1 or 2 more people in there too. And have a massive impact on this tax money. This money, not once when I think Tom Haskins was on the board, he's a very nice guy, I've dealt with him, but not once did he mention the fact that I've heard in this board that the money hasn't come into your district. And I think you need a strong advocate, maybe 2 or 3 strong advocates, because most of what happens in that board meeting is every single meeting is in Boyle Heights. Some of the meetings clearly should be in this community and in Lincoln Heights, not a single one since I've been on. And there needs to be members from your community screaming for that money to come back here or at least have an impact on it. And most important to do that, they need elections. And by state law, they have to have our PAC. And by state law, if there's vacancies, they have to do it in a certain amount of time. And it's been several months and they haven't replaced these folks. So I appreciate if you pass this motion and as it's led. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Now we have an opportunity for board members for discussion.
So the reason that you haven't had meetings is because there's not enough members, is that?
No.
It's a complicated thing. The short version of it is that first, the CRA used several techniques to block us from meeting. Like they took away all our funding and all our support and all our meetings. But the other thing that happened afterwards most of our board actually voted unanimously or nearly unanimously in a heavy decision. Until January, we all voted almost unanimously to eliminate CRA. And what happened after that fact is suddenly people that were connected to the CRA with funding are connected to USC, which has talked about investing $2 billion in this district. Suddenly none of those people quit in order to make it so the board couldn't meet, so there wouldn't be a quorum. That's basically what happened.
Any other questions from the board? Val?
You want to just describe the criteria for fulfilling vacancy?
That's a good question. It's a real pain in the butt thing. I think it should change the way the law is. You have to look at that CRA district, when you mentioned, and you have to find people that live in that district or that own a residential apartment building in that district.
Right in the
It has to be in that district.
Can't be the house
They can have-
behind it, can't be the house behind it.
They can have a business in that district. They can own a property, commercial property in that district. They don't have to live in it technically. But it has to be one of those categories to legally fit in. There's one other exception. They could be in a nonprofit. And the nonprofit either has to be in that district or it can serve that district. This is one of the people on our board had a nonprofit that wasn't located in the district. It was in Boyle Heights. But that nonprofit served the community in that district. So that is one technicality to get away with. But I really, really strongly urge you, you should try to get at least 2 or 3 people from your board, particularly from your committee, sir, to come in and take over part of our meetings and start pointing in the direction, where has all that money gone? It shouldn't be coming here. And if you look at what's really happening, most of that money's gone to Boyle Heights. Because of dollars and cents since I've been on the board.
Any further board members' discussion?
I just wanted to
Linda?
be clear, the criteria is that you need to be a part of a nonprofit or you need to own business property, is that what I understood?
You can be a tenant, you can own a house,
Oh,
you can own
property
an
owner.
apartment building. This is my understanding, I'm not the expert, but I had to run and deal with this stuff. You can own an apartment building, you can own a business in that district, you can own a commercial property that rents to a business in that district, as long as it's in the district. And again, it can be a nonprofit that is in the district or I think serves that district.
Or you can be a resident or a
Did I
resident.
mention residential tenant?
Yeah.
Like I said, it runs from Soto on Valley, from Soto to 710, and on Alhambra Avenue from Valley to the Alhambra boundary line,
Yeah.
or city boundary line, along that corridor.
One more thing, what I suggested in your land use meeting is that I think it would be great, not only you folks can get on the board, some of you, but periodically have meetings in your district and joint meetings with your neighborhood council, which particularly focuses our board on your community, because it's never happened.
We have another question from Jose Aguilar.
This joint meeting, could you elaborate on that? Having a CRA, LA 32 joint meeting, could you elaborate? And then having the issues of El Sereno, anything that affects El Sereno being discussed on that topic of, having a joint meeting, but having El Sereno discussed specifically? Could you explain that?
My brilliant idea, I went to a city council meeting, and they had a joint meeting between the CRA commissioners, bigwigs, and the city council, and they made certain decisions together and discussed certain things. So this is not a revolutionary concept. There's no reason it can't be done at this level, and most importantly, in your district. If it's in Boyle Heights, it's very unlikely that these issues will be accomplished.
Ruben?
Does it include Lincoln Heights also, or just El Sereno?
Yes, I'm from Lincoln Heights, and that's...
No, I didn't ask if you were from Lincoln Heights. Does it, the boundary, does it include also Lincoln Heights or just El Sereno?
Yeah, that's how I'm on the board, because it does include Lincoln Heights.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the boundaries for Lincoln Heights?
Lincoln Heights, I can't tell you every single street, but I know it includes...
No, the boundary.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it includes Main Street, going all the way, where the artist brewery community is?
Yes.
Yeah, it goes right up to there, and
The river.
a facility is in it. It's very complicated, it's gerrymandered, because across the street is not included, and there's certain properties that have been etched out.
Does it go to Mission Road? Does it go?
What I suggest you do is look online, what happened, from my understanding, listen to me, it's not me. What happened, I think, 20 years ago or something, when this thing was set up, or I should say 1999, is there was so much community opposition in Boyle Heights and Lincoln Heights. I don't know about your community, to not having the CRA in the district, that large areas were gerrymandered out of the district, so it's a very complicated line.
I only asked you for the borderlines
It's not
for
a straight
Lincoln.
line.
Sir, I only asked you for the borderlines of Lincoln Heights. I didn't ask you.
Order.
For me to draw that line, it would look like this. It's very complicated.
there's not a unique, or it's not as defined as a circle or what have you, it's along the street, okay? And it's the property along, the side along the street, like I mentioned, on Valley, on Hammer. And it goes past Valley, past Lincoln Park into Main Street, okay, as we talked about. Okay, so, and then it goes into Boyle Heights along Soto, and then it goes, I mean, it's all over the place. Okay, so it's not.
So how does people know?
You can go online.
That's what's messed up about it, I agree. And one last thing, is this CRA has the power of eminent domain, that's why our PAC exists. They cannot take properties from private citizens or corporations without our PAC, and without your having any representation on it, you're really exposing your landholders as well as some of your residents to losing their properties. So,
Thank you, Mike.
thank you very much for seeing me early on the free time.
Is there any other board members' discussion? Jose?
Yeah, I heard some comments that I think I'll use diplomatic language, just to say they were uninformed. I'll use that word, uninformed. The area has over 20 or 30 years of its existence. It basically has bond money that could be incremented and levered against those 30 years and used right now. And most residents and also people don't know what the CRA redevelopment agency does, is that they take this bond money and they basically work closely with the council office. The problem that you have in advisory is twofold. One is for the eminent domain. It's a state law that they have a PAC when there's eminent domain involved. It's a state law that they require to have meetings, that they require the agency, CRA agency, and the City of Los Angeles to facilitate the meetings. And it's also a product of the City Council. The City Council has voted the Project Area Committee into existence. So it is like us. It's also something we were created by the City Council. They were also created by the City Council. And, yeah, for public input. And that has not occurred. When the members who were the affected property owners started raising the concerns, they got shut down. And this is more than just them not having elections, not having meetings. I could tell you for a fact that the agency has purposely done everything in power to make sure this committee doesn't meet, and I think it's unethical, and I want this board to realize that there's a lot of money that could be used for jobs in this area right here specifically, and I'm not going to mention all the job programs that could come out of it, but right now, the only people involved in this process is the councilman, the City Council, and Gloria Molina and the County of Los Angeles. But the advisory councils, the people that live, work, and pay for the bonds, they're being shut out. So I urge this advisory to advise the City Council to make sure they follow their own bylaws that they voted on and that they have meetings and they have elections. So I'm urging this board to take that vote in the affirmative.
Thank you, Jose. Any final word from the board member? Any final words to make of the motion? Okay, we've taken public input. All those in favor of drafting a letter to be directed to the CRA regarding the Adelante East Side PAC, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 in favor. Those opposing, raise your hand. 1. Those that are abstaining, raise your hand. And it will be myself. 1. There's 11 board members seated before you. That does pass. 9 in favor, 1 opposing, 1 abstaining. And the chair of the Management Committee will be charged with preparing the letter. Johnny, can you take care of that? Okay, item